So now today's concept is the listener class. Okay, very important. So let me create a package. Listener. So I test listener. Okay. So today's topic is test engine listeners. Okay. So now let me go to Orange Charm Cloud project here. So I have created a package I test listener. Okay, let me create a test ng class file here. Okay, right click, go to test ng and click on create test ng class. So I'm creating a class name as listener class here. Okay. So let me go to listener class and whatever default method created, I'm removing this part. So my listener class doesn't contain any methods. My listener class doesn't contain any methods. So here what I'm doing for this listener class, I'm writing this line. So I test listener. So I have written I test listener. Okay. So let's go to I test listener here. So which contains various methods like on test. One second. So iTest listener is a class file. Okay, is a class file which is developed by test engine. So I'm clicking on this one. Control by pressing Control key, I'm clicking on this. So it contains various methods as on test start, on test success, and on test failure, on test skipped, on test failed with success percentage, on start. So these are the methods are available in iTest listener class. Okay. So the iTest listener which contains methods name as onTest success, onTest failure, onTest skipped. So there are so many methods are available. So now what I'm doing is just I'm taking all the I'm writing all those methods in this class file. Same methods in this listener class file I'm going to write it here. See, by writing @override on finish, this is the method, and on start, this is the method. Okay, and on test failure, this is the method. So for every method, the default object is I test context result. This is the one. By default, we have to create that. So here on test start, one second, on test start result dot get name. And on test success, the name of the test case passed is result dot get name. On test failed, on test failure, result dot get name, the name of the test case failed is. Okay, so like that I'm having so like that I had implemented my listener class. Okay, got it everyone? So I'm having, this is the listener class file I'm having. Okay, so now what I am doing is I'm going to take the basic programs, add skills program, and then jobs class, not this program. Okay, let me take add skills and add nationalities. These two programs I'm taking copy. I'm taking copy. And in this package, iTest listener, I'm pasting add nationality program and add skills program. These are the two programs. So one is add nationality and another one is add skills program. Okay. So I want to generate testng.xml. Okay, let me generate testng.xml. So testng, convert to testng. So under which package? Under iTest listener package. So let's go to Selenium 44 project folder, src, test Java, and Selenium 44. Okay. What is that? iTest listener package. So here I want to generate my testng.xml. So let's click on next and click on finish. So the testng.xml got generated here. What is the point? So nothing but our batch file. So this is the add skills program. Now let me add one more testng class file also. What is the name? TC01 add nationality. Okay, let me create this one as well. So this testng.xml contains two testng class files execution. So if I will run this testng class file, my program will be executed. What is the point? So now let me go to, okay. Let me go to my testng list. So in this testng.xml, okay, after suit name, okay, after suit name, what is my listener package name? iTest listener package dot, what is my class file name? Listener. Okay, let me give the listener. Okay, so in the testng.xml, I mentioned whatever listener class name that I have developed, that class name I mentioned. That's it. Okay, so in the testng.xml, I mentioned whatever listener class that I have developed, I mentioned now. So now let me run my testng.xml. What will happen? We will see. Okay, so now let's go to the runner class testng.xml and run the program. Run as testng suit. What will happen? We will observe now. So skills program got executed successfully, and the nationality program also it will execute successfully. Okay. So sir, what is the advantage to develop that listener class? And we mentioned in the testng.xml. What is the purpose of that? Program got executed. Let's go and verify the things in the emailable report as well. So to check the emailable report, I have to navigate to test output folder, and let's open emailable report.html. Okay, so let's open with web browser. So let's copy this URL and open it in the URL Google Chrome. So here nationality test method was executed successfully and skills method got executed successfully. And if you will observe here, the name of the test case passed is nationality. The name of the test case passed is skills. So whatever method name. So how this line got printed? This line got printed because of listener class file. So where is that listener class file? So the name of the test case passed is, the name of the test case passed is result.getName. So my testng class file, so this method name is nationality. So that is the name. The name of the test case passed is nationality. The name of the test case passed is skills. So for each testng class, corresponding log statement printed from listener class file. Got the point? So result.getName means, so whenever TC01 add skills got program got executed, on test success, this method got executed. On test success, this method got executed, and whenever this line number 61 got executed, so the name of the test case passed is, this line got printed in your emailable report. Okay. So similarly for another testng class file, whenever that another testng class is executing, if the test is passed, the name of the test case passed is skills and nationality. Those lines got printed in your emailable report. Okay. So now we can say, so in the interviews, people will ask, what is the test? What are testng listeners? They will ask you, what are the testng listeners? Which type of listener you had used in your project? This is the question people are asking. In my project, I had used iTest listener and I have created a listener class file, implements, and I mentioned the iTest listener. And that iTest listener class contains various methods as onTest start, onTest failure, onTest skip. So like that, there are so many methods are available. Okay, so like that. So whenever any of the testng class file got successful, corresponding log statement is printing in my emailable report. In case any of the test is got failed also, in case any of the test is failed, on test failure method will be executed. The name of the test case failed is, so that line is printing in your emailable report. Okay, so in case if the test got started, execution was started, here you can write the name of the execution. So you can write this line. You can write this line. The name of the test case started is. So that for any of the test case, if execution got started, so that method name execution was started, it will be printed in my emailable report. So that means listener class is listening. Listener class is listening the execution progress of the testng class. What the point? The listener class is observing or monitoring the execution progress of the testng class file. Okay, that's why this iTest listener, we can call it as a listener class file. Okay, so what this listener class it is doing? It is generating log statements. It is generating log statements in the emailable report. Okay, so interface people will ask, what is the purpose of iTestng listener? Listener class which can help to generate the log statements in the emailable report. That is the line people interviews people are expecting. So the listener class which can monitor the execution progress of every testng class file, and corresponding log statement will be printed in my emailable report. Simply we can say one line statement as testng listeners are used to customize the emailable reports. This is the perfect answer I will tell in the interviews. Testng listeners are useful to generate custom logs. So whatever log message you have written, custom logs, it can be custom logs, it will be generated in my emailable reports. If you don't use this listener class file in the testng.xml, if you don't mention this one, those logs cannot be generated. So that means the listener class is monitoring execution progress of every testng class file, and the detailed logs are generated. So let's go and execute the program, add nationality program. I had given some invalid locator name here. So which method will be executed? On test failure will be executed, and that nationality method has to fail. Okay, so let's run this program now and we will see. So testng.xml run as testng should. One second. So I have to execute my testng.xml run as testng should. Okay, so nationality program, I had given invalid locator, no such element exception, program will be failed. So that log is generating or not, we will see. On test failure method will be executed or not, we will see. So skills program got executed, and let's verify nationality. So username is not entering. Okay, so okay, now let's go and refresh the test output folder, refresh it, and open the emailable report, open with the browser, copy this one and open it in the emailable. So the name of the test case failed is, means on test failure, that method got failed, nationality module, it's got printed. And the law exception message, unable to locate element, no such element exception. Okay, at which line it is showing? At line number 59, that program, the locator name you had given invalid. And the name of the test case passed is skills. So the listener class, it is monitoring the execution progress and it is generating detailed logs in the emailable reports. What is the point? So like that, so the listener class which can be useful, okay, to customize the emailable reports. Okay, so let me show you the document part. Listeners in Guru 19. See here, the listener, so this is a listener class file. It is monitoring execution progress of every test ng class. The listener class, it is monitoring the execution progress of every test ng class, and the logs are generating in my emailable repo. So there are various types of listener classes files are available. So listeners, public class listener implements, I have written iTest listener. Okay, so iTest listener contains various methods as on test success, on test failure, on test skip. So right now I implemented only the listener name is iTest listener. Similarly, there are total 12 listeners are available in test engine. Okay, so in the interviewer might ask what are the various listener. So these listener class files particularly can be useful to customize the emailable reports on test fail. So I test listener is particularly if the test got passed, failed, on test success. So anything happened, so it will print that. Similarly, I suit listener also to customize the emailable reports. I reporter also to customize the emailable reports. So every listener class it contains various methods. Okay, so the listener class pro execution progress, it will be totally monitored by this listener class. And now I had used iTest listener, and iTest listener contains these methods. Suppose if you want to implement another listener, instead of implements, you can mention implements I suit listener. Okay, let me create and show you. So I'm going to create listener class file, and I'm pasting here listener to class, and I'm deleting all these methods now. So I suit listener. Okay, so I'm saving this one. So now let's keep the mouse over here. So it is asking import to iSuit listener. So I had imported. So this iSuit listener, which contains various methods as what is this on start and on finish. Okay, it contains only two methods. So these two methods will monitors, and if something got executed, those logs will be generated in the email. Okay, so like that. So most of the projects people are using only the listener name is iTest listener. Okay, so no need to go and look into all other listeners as well. So you can tell only one listener. In our project, we had used iTest listener. Okay, so each and every listener class has its own purpose actually. Okay, but no need to go about each and every purpose of the listener. Okay, if you want, you can explore like this how the methods got implemented. Okay, so the purpose of listener class is to customize the emailable reports. The listener class is which contains various methods. So in our project, we had used iTest listener. And if you want to monitor that, monitor and generate the detail logs, you must have to mention this section. So that only this listener class monitors the execution progress of every testng class, and logs will be generated in the testng.xml. So whenever in the interview people are asking, you have to tell about in the testng.xml under listener section, we are specifying the listener package name and class name, so that that listener class which can monitors the emailable reports and generates the detailed logs in the emailable report. That's what you have to tell in the interface. Understood everyone? Yes. So simply iTest listeners are used to customize the emailable reports. That is the one line statement you have to tell in the interface. Okay. Okay, let me go through the documentation part. Interview hybrid framework. So this is one of the concepts. So what is the purpose of test-ng listeners? To customize the emailable reports. How we are mentioning customizing the emailable reports and detail logs are generating the emailable report? Because in the testng.xml, I am specifying the listener section, listener package name and class name. It is monitoring the execution progress of every testng class, and the detail logs are generating in the emailable reports. This is the explanation you have to tell in the interview. Okay, so this is one of the feature. So we used test-ng listeners to customize the emailable reports, and you have to tell whenever you are explaining about line number 10. Okay, got the point? So we have completed about test-ng listeners as well. And in last class we have already completed data provider and test-ng priorities we completed, groups we completed, and we haven't discussed about how to execute failed test cases using test-ng. Okay, let's important. That is very important topic. Let's discuss that. So I'm going to create a package. Test-ng failed test cases execution. My package name is test-ng failed test cases execution. I'm creating this one. Okay, right now I want to create nationality and skills here. Okay, and let me copy this testng.xml as well. So let's go to this testng.xml here. So now I don't want to go with the listener class. I don't want to generate any of the logs. And what is my package name here? This one is package name is this one. Okay. So let me mention my package name. One second. Okay. Okay. So my package name is test-ng. So this package contains add skills and this package contains national. If I will execute this program, all the test-ng class files will be executed, correct? Suppose let us assume this testng.xml contains 10 test cases. Right now, how many are there? Only 2. Now, if this testng.xml contains 10 testng class files, so whenever I will invoke this batch file, all 10 test cases got executed. Out of 10, 2 got failed. 2 got failed, and 8 was successful after I checked in the emailable report. Okay, I navigated to test output folder and I checked 2 test cases got failed. So now next time when I will invoke my testng.xml batch file, all the test cases will be executed or only failed test cases will be executed. Got my question, everyone? So right now this testng.xml contains how many? 10. Out of 10, 8 got passed, 2 got failed. I checked this status, execution status in the emailable report. Correct? Yeah, 2 got failed. My intention is I want to execute only failed test cases. I don't want to execute which is already passed. So if I will come back and if I will rerun this one, what will happen? All will be executed. But what interviewer is asking? Only failed test cases I want to. If you are executing this XML batch file, unnecessarily execution time will be wasted because already it got paused. How you will execute only failed test cases? This is the interview question. Now let me explain this part. So now my suit name I am going to create suit 545. What is the name I had given? 540. Okay. Let me run this batch file. Let us assume this testng class file add skills program will be executed perfectly and add nationality program will be failed. Okay. So let me run this one. So suit name what I had given suit 545. Just remember this. Okay. So let me run this testng class file. Testng 1 second. Run as testng suit. So now let's go to Eclipse. So we understood in the execution status, one failed and one passed. Let's go and verify the output report in the emailable report. Open with a browser. Let's copy this URL and verify it in the emailable in the Chrome. So one test got passed, nationality is failed, and skills got passed. Okay. So now if I will go and execute my batch file, again skills will be executed, correct? But I don't want to execute which is already passed. So the interviewer is asking, I want to execute only failed test cases. Can you please tell me how to execute failed test cases? This is the question the interviewer is asking. So now let's go to the test output folder and refresh it. Okay, so important. So let's refresh my test output folder. So what is the suit name I had given in my testng.xml? So that is the suit name got created in my test output folder. Everyone able to see? So let's go to suit 545 folder. So whatever name you had given, with that name, a folder will be created, a suit folder will be created. And here it contains testng.xml, testng field.xml. So this testng field.xml contains add nationality. So I have to rerun this one. So before rerunning, let's go to add nationality, because we already understood that locator is giving invalid, and fix it. Okay, let's fix it, and I saved, and I have to rerun my failed test cases by executing testng failed.xml. So let me rerun testng failed.xml so that only failed test cases will be executed. So that means testng field.xml will be generated only whichever test case. So here if you see my testng field.xml, add nationality got generated automatically. I haven't written this code, but this will be generated. So first time whichever got failed with those things, a testng field.xml will be generated under the suit folder name. So just you have to rerun testng field.xml so that all failed test cases will be executed. Okay, let me run this one now, because I fixed that issue and I'm rerunning. See, now it's got executed. Username, password, and nationality. It's got executed. Okay, right, guys. So what is the folder name here now? What is the folder name it will be created? Okay, let me refresh and verify it. Test output folder, just refresh it. So failed suit. Suppose in this one, if there is any failed test case are there, you have to expand again. Let's verify testng field.xml. Okay, 1 second. So let's drag it here. So now there are nothing is there. If everything got successful, it will generate like this. Previously, if it is got failed, it will generate like this. Got the point? So now this folder doesn't have any failed test cases. That's why it's got generated like this. If something got failed, again the testng field.xml it will be generated. Okay. So that means now let's go and check the emailable report. Okay. Open with browser. See, only the emailable report got generated execution only for failed test case. Okay, so everyone is clear. So now the interviewer is asking question about. So my batch file contains 10 testng class files, and 8 got successful and 2 got failed. I want to execute only failed test cases. Can you please let me know the approach? So in the testng.xml, I can do the suit folder name. Whenever I will execute my batch file, a suit folder will be created under test output folder. Under that suit folder, it contains testng field.xml. Whenever I will rerun that testng field.xml, only failed test cases will be executed. Like that, we executed all failed test cases. Okay, but if you go and run the previous batch file, what will happen? All will be executed. Okay, whenever you want to execute failed test cases, whatever suit folder got created, you have in that it contains testng field.xml. Got the point? Okay. So this is one of the feature. We can able to execute only failed test cases by using testng. Okay. So by using testng, we can able to execute only failed test case. So in batch file, no need to execute already, which is already passed. Just test output folder, refresh it. Folder name will be created. That folder name contains testng failed.xml. Okay, understood everyone? Okay. So we completed lab number 7 as well. Okay, now let's come back to the next annotation tag. As there are so many annotation tags available in testng. Okay, let's discuss this concept. Okay, let me create a package src test java. Now package name is testng annotations. Annotations already there, so let me give 01. So I have created a package testng annotations 01. Okay, now I want to create a testng class in this one. Okay, let me go to create a testng class name as tc01. Okay, tc01. And here there are so many annotation tags are there. Let me create my testng class file with all these annotation tags. Okay, before suit. So now see the order which I am selecting. First I am selecting before suit. Next I am selecting before test. Next I am selecting before class. Next I am selecting before method. Okay. After that I am selecting after method, after class, after test, under after suit. So like this I have selected. See, like this I have selected. Okay. So which annotation tag will be executed first? Before suit. The next annotation tag, which one will be executed? Before test. Next? Before class. Before class. After that? Before method. Before method. By default, @test method is not available. You observe, right? Whenever any testng class got created, @test method is generating automatically. After before method, @test method will be executed. Okay. So after before method, what is the annotation tag will be executed? @test. After executing @test, the next annotation method is @after method. And next, after class. After that, after test. And finally, in the interview, people are asking what are the various testing annotation tags. Can you please tell me the order of execution of the annotation tags? Every interview, people are asking and from the testing concepts. So you have to tell the order before suit, before test, before class, before method, test, test, after method, after class, after test, and finally after suit. What is the point? So after executing before method, test method is executing. After that, after method, after class, after test, and after suit. Let's run the program and we will see. Is it executing same or not? So I'm creating tc01 testng class file and I'm clicking on finish. Okay. So there are so many annotation tags @test, before method, after method. Okay. So every method got generated with corresponding starting curly bracket and ending curly bracket. Correct or not? So every test method got executed. Okay. Method is generating like this. Okay. Okay, right. So I'm going to change it as main test. Okay. Right now, let me write a log statement. I want to know. Okay. System dot out dot println. Okay. So what is the method name? Let's give the method name. Main test. Okay. I will give @test method. @test method. So let me give method name as @before method. Okay. So whenever, so now I want to give @after method. Before class. after class. Before test. After test. Before should. After should. Okay, let me save my testng class file. So now let me run this program. Okay, so I'm going to run this testng program. Okay, run as testng test. So which method got executed first? Because system, so before should means before should. So as we discussed, first before should method got executed. So that's why this line got printed in my console. Next, which method before test? Before test means, so this is got executed, this is got printed. So yeah, whatever order that we discussed, so those lines of code got printed in my console. So before shoot method will be executed, before test, before class, before method, after method, at the rate test method, after class, after test, and finally after shoot got executed. Okay, so the interviewer is asking, what is the order of the test engine annotation tags? This is the common question from test engines. You have to tell this order. Okay, right. And one more interview question people are asking. Can I write multiple annotation tags or not? At the right test, I can write it, right? So this one I am making, so main test one, so this is main test one and this is main test two. Okay, and here at the rate test method one and at the rate test method two I mentioned. So this testng class, how many at the rate test methods now? This testng class contains two test methods. Okay, for every at the rate test method, before and after methods will be executed. Understood the concept? So for every at the rate test method, before method and after method will be executed. So that means at the rate test method prior to at the rate test method one, before method will be executed, and at the rate after method will be executed. And prior to at the rate test method, before method will be executed and after method will be executed. So now tell me, okay, one second. So one second. What is that? At the rate test method one and at the rate test method two. So there are at the rate test method one and at the rate test method. So for every at the rate, so previously this is the one. For every at the rate test method, so that means at the rate test method one, it will be populated. So for before at the rate test method one, before method got executed and after method got the executed. So that means same thing will be executed before and after method. So it will, so the execution output will be executed like this. For every at the rate test method, before method and after method will be executed. Understood everyone? So now let's see whether this output report got generated or not. Okay. So now we will run the program. So for every at the rate test method, before and after method, so before and after method got executed or not, we will see now. Okay. Okay, let me run my program and run as test engine test. Okay. See, This is got executed before method and after method was executed for @test method 1, and before method and after method got executed for @test method 2 as well. And anyway, after suit got executed here. Understood, right? So before and after method got executed for @test method 1, and for @test method 2, before and after method got executed. Got the point, everyone? So like, okay. So that is the concept of annotation tags. Okay, and before suit will be executed all the times perfectly, and after type, before test and before class, these will be executed only once. Okay, this will be executed globally only once. Okay, so this for every @test only before and after methods will be executed. So in the interviews, people are asking what is the difference between suit and before suit and before test. Before suit will be executed globally and it will be executed first. After that, before test will be executed. And interview people are asking what is the difference between before test and before class. After executing before suit, before test will be executed, and after executing before test, before class method will be executed. That is the order of annotation tags execution it follows, and it will be executed only once. That is the line you have to tell. The people are asking what is the difference between before test and before class means. After executing before suit, before test method will be executed, and after executing before test, before class will be executed, and this will be executed only once. But before and after methods will be executed for every @test method. So this is the point you need to tell in the interviews. Okay, people will forget in the interviews. Okay, most of the people, the interview is asking about only order of the annotation tags, you can tell that point. But what is the difference between before method and before test? In that case, you have to tell before method he asked. So for every @test, before method will be executed, and before test will be executed only once. Okay, so that's it. So those are the annotation tags are available in test engine. But using of all these annotation tags, people won't use generally. Before test, @test, after test. In the last class we discussed. Generally in before test, what lines of code we will write? Launching of Chrome browser, launching of application URL. And the main methods login, add nationality, logout, all these methods we will write in the main test method. And close browser, after method we will write driver.close. So launching of browser and launching of application URL, such lines of code we will write in @before method. Okay, like that. And after method, after test will be once after all your main test got executed, we will write driver.close. So generally closing of browser sessions we will write in after test. Okay, right. So nobody will use all these annotation tags in the single testng class file. Just for your information, how the order of the execution it will be executed, what is the annotation tags given by testng, and what is the sequence of the execution. So these questions people are asking in the interviews. So now everyone is clear about testng annotations. Okay. So what are the various annotation tags means? You have to tell all these things, and along with that, we also need to talk about @data provider, because it's there in the data provider as well. So data provider provides the input data to the test, and test will be executed multiple times for different sets of input data defined in the data provider. Okay, that concept we already discussed. And by using testng parameters, and we haven't discussed about testng emailable report, and we can monitor the execution progress. We are already checking emailable reports after executing my program in the test output folder. Emailable report.html is there, and we can monitor the execution progress. That's what we are seeing. Now I want to write some log statements in my program. And I want to check those logs got generated successfully in my emailable report. What is the point? So now let's see that one. So lab number four, I am going to explain. Okay, so let's go to the program. Test engine annotations. So new test. So in the last class, okay, this is the annotation tag we discussed about before test launching of Chrome browser and closing of the browser, and the main set of driver commands, login, all these things we have written in the @main test. This is what we discussed. Now let me write a log statement, reporter.log, reporter.log. Login executed successfully. So this line will be printed in your emailable report. Once 3 steps got executed, this line will be printed. And once after executing, skills records got created successfully, skills executed successfully, skills. So once all above lines got executed, that if line, this line got printed, what does that mean? Skills record got created successfully. Okay. So now let's go and verify. Let me do the input details. Sales 90, sales 90 description, sales 90 note. Let me save this program and run my test ng plus. Run as test ng test. So now let me check my log statements got generated or not in my emailable reports. Open with browser. See, login executed successfully, skills executed successfully. Those lines got printed in my emailable report. So if you want to write some confirmation messages, whether which lines got executed, you can write this log statement. So whatever log statements you have written, those lines of code which will be printed in your emailable report. Okay, and we can monitor the execution progress. Okay, so the method got passed or failed and everything. This emailable report it is showing clearly. Okay, so that means we can generate test and emailable report. Okay, and we can monitor the execution progress. And if you want to check the log statements, what is the line of code we have to write? Reporter.log. So reporter.log is the supporting library. This is the supporting class import package we have to import. org.stng.reporter and reporter.log. This is the line of code it will be executed. Got the point? Right. And in my test and emailable report, those lines got generated. So now let's go to the summary things. So that means we have completed all the test and features now. Okay. So now let's go and discuss. Coming to test and framework. So in our project, coming to hybrid framework, we had discussed about page object model design pattern. Okay, and data driven framework. Okay, this concept anyway we will discuss in the next class. Okay, and reporting part also I will tell you in the next class. Now we have targeted about test ng features in this week. So coming to test ng features, we had used various features. We generated testng.xml and we can execute batch files, a group of testng class files, and by using testng we can able to execute multiple batch files or suite files we discussed. And parallel test execution, parallel classes, test methods. Okay, and we can generate test ng emailable reports. We can monitor the execution progress. And by using test ng parameters, we can able to achieve browser compatibility testing. And there are various annotation tags like before suite, before test, before class, before method, @test method, and @data provider. All these annotation tags we used in our project. And we can able to execute only failed test cases by using testng fail.xml, which will generate under test output folder. And by using testng groups, we can able to execute specific group of test cases. And testng priority, as per the priority order, my test methods will be executed. Testng listeners, which can be useful to customize my emailable reports. Testng data provider, the test will be executed multiple times for different sets of input data defined in the data provider. So this is the summary of the testng framework features. Okay. So all these concepts. So what I will do is this Selenium 44 project I can upload Okay, I can upload in the SharePoint, and you can download this Selenium 44 project folder, and you can go through all these labs, whatever I had created, and you can import this project in your Eclipse. You know how to import this project. Just to go to file, import, and import Maven project and get this project. So whatever labs I had given under Selenium 44, it has all the TestNG related labs. Okay, so today I will upload because size limit was exceeded in my SharePoint. So last class and today's class, I have to clean up all those things, and I want to upload it. Okay, and all manual testing videos already uploaded in YouTube as well. You can get the access link from Durga. Okay, and go through the video recordings. So all the 14 classes already uploaded in YouTube. Okay, you can access the videos from there as well. Okay, similarly, all automation labs also I can upload it in YouTube only for particular about for this group. Okay, you can refer all the videos from automation videos also from there. Okay, so no need to go and click everything in the SharePoint. Whatever link I will give, it contains all the related videos. I already shared for manual testing, and by end of today, I will also give automation videos for YouTube, which is YouTube link I can give. Okay, and this Selenium 44 project folder, I can upload it and I can give the Google Drive access. Okay, all the labs it will be there. Okay, that's one second. One second.